It's been wonderful, Justin. You were here last year.
Yes.
How does it compare, do you think? It just seems like it's just been crazy one this time.
Yeah, it's snowballed, doesn't it? Really seems to have got some momentum kind of powered up this year, isn't it? Yeah, very good. Very good. Well done. And it's a hell of an effort. I know how tough you found it last year. Engaging, liberating, enjoyable, but also tough. So well done to you for doing it again.
Not sure. I'm a bit mad. I don't know but no, it's wonderful. It's an absolute privilege. Absolute privilege.
Yeah.
So Justin, I asked you to come back on here, and I don't know if you heard me before. There's a message I want to share when Steve and Luke are here. So I would appreciate if you are around at 9:30.
Okay, 9:30, yeah, that's all right.
Just to pop on, because it's an important message, and all of you have made an influence on that person's life, and I think it would be wonderful if you're all there when we share that.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'd like you to introduce yourself, not only as the founder, entrepreneur, coach that you are with Focus for Growth, but also importantly, the work that I think over the last year in particular, you've dedicated a lot of your life to supporting local community as well.
Yeah, actually, when you think about what's happened in the last 12 months, it's quite remarkable. I joined you last January for the Speak Up Live-a-thon, Alex, and you remember actually it was the first time I told my backstory in public. And it was, in our conversation, actually inspired by so many of the other people that did the same on that day. And I wasn't planning to, but
I was going to say you weren't intending to. Sorry to interrupt. You and Kenda threw me completely. And I class you as a friend, and I know you reasonably well. And I know that I think where we all have a past. And you kind of alluded to things in the conversations, but for you to share so openly like that was it really was a beautiful thing, and it inspired a lot of people.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's not an easy thing. I'll tell you what's really fascinating, even to this day, still fascinates me is if you have when you sustain a physical injury, everyone can see it, right? So if you break your arm, you're in a cast. If you've got a scar, you can see the scar. Psychological injuries are so much different. We all carry around all these experiences from our past. You've got no idea what someone's been through, maybe going through. And it really does. It's really interesting because I'm a pretty positive guy, but the reason I'm pretty positive is because I work on it daily, like every single day. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't proactively work on my mindset, because I went through a period in my life, 4.5 years ago now, 4.5 to 6.5 years ago, it was a couple of years where I had a really, really tough time. And I because I was so wound so tight and I was going through so much, I just stopped working on myself. And I think that was the big turning point for me. So when I finally got through that period, I recognized the importance of working on myself, and I've done it ever since. But there is that, even though, my previous experience was pretty awful for me, and I'm over it and through it, just recapping on it and reliving it takes you right back to the moment. It's the strangest thing. It can get me I can get quite emotional if I really, think about it. That's the thing about challenges from the past. So recognizing that happens, recognizing that we need a safe space, recognizing that there are things we can do to manage ourselves and get through these situations, put them in a different context, see them as opportunities for us to grow, help others, do all the things that we do is really important. And last January's Speakathon or Live-a-thon really kind of got me thinking afterwards, and was one of the catalysts for me starting Walk and Talk for Men, actually. And I'll talk about Walk and Talk for Men because it's a bit of a passion project for myself and my amazing partner in it, Steve Whitney. So last January, after the Live-a-thon, I had a conversation with somebody who was the founder of the Walk and Talk for Men group, kind of nationally in Essex. And I had a conversation just to understand what was it they were doing, how does it work, what impact is it making in the local community. And I was quite inspired then again, having had that conversation, and said, right, if I wanted to start one up in my local area, can I do it? And James Mace, who is the founder, said, I'd be absolutely delighted if you do that, Justin. Yeah. And it's a very autonomous movement. So if you want to do it, they literally say, yeah, go for it. And the only guidance is, you're creating some safe space, find a really nice place in your local community to walk, talk, do a bit of publicity, invite people along, and the rest is up to you. So I've really kind of forged it myself. And we had our first walk in March last year. And at that first walk, I think I did a bit of Facebook promotion in advance, and it was eight people.
Yeah.
Walk, which
I remember it. Yeah, I remember it well, mate.
Chuffed to bits. 8 people, that's great. And then I think we just gradually been building it. So we went 8 to 10 to 12 to 14 and here we are. I think it was on the third walk, Steve messaged me directly and just said, could we have a conversation about me getting more involved? Which I have to say I was relieved and delighted about, because I recognise, when you do something like that, it's quite a big responsibility.
It's intense, man. Like community. So here you go. Look, I even downloaded a picture. This was this weekend, right? This is how many people you now attract into these things. Like 30 odd people turning up for these walks. And as someone, and I want to give you this reference, because as someone, if I'm honest, and I'll be honest, I said yes to come because it's you when I first joined, because we've always been very supportive of anything we both do, and I want to support you. That was why initially I was there, and then I had the most profound walk and conversation, and that just kept happening, and then when I witnessed the change in people, in these men so I was probably, the demographic tends to be a bit older mostly, so 80% probably. But for someone who doesn't have it, I don't have I know it sounds weird, I don't have like a granddad around anymore, or I don't know. There's a family feel about the way that it's organized, and there's a family feel. There's a real beautiful culture about the way that they all look after each other, and everyone's got each other's back. And even what you guys have done to support this campaign, you've done over £1,000 raised for CPSL Mind as part of our campaign, and that's just activated through one message in WhatsApp because you've got that relationship. I just, as someone who comes to these things, it's a wonderful thing you're doing, bro.
Thanks, Alex. And the charity fundraising for Mind, I have to give all credit to that to Steve Whitney. He's like a powerhouse. That guy.
He's an animal, isn't he?
He's just relentless in a brilliant way. He's so passionate. He's so committed. When he gets an idea and we agree, he's like 100% on it. It's just amazing. And I'm so grateful for him being involved, because the reach we've now got, the amount of engagement, and largely it's because Steve's so active on this mission
everywhere, anywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. And I see Luke and Ian on. Thank you guys, Luke. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's great. Luke's a great guy. Luke's a fantastic supporter. We're a great supporter.
Oh, amazing.
We love Jackie and Ian. Thank you, Jackie. Love it. And Ian was at our walk yesterday as well. Ian's a fantastic guy.
He's a legend, Ian. Love him.
I'll tell you what. You said something a minute ago, Alex, and as you were saying it, it's what I said to my wife yesterday when I got back. It feels like we're building this great big family. It's such a community family feel. I know you weren't able to make it because you were playing football.
No, yes.
But yesterday we had 33 men attend, and it was like a reunion of a family. It was such an incredible dynamic. We had 6 new people join us. All at the end said, "God, it feels like I've been before." It never didn't feel like a first time for anyone. And they are such a welcoming, warm group of people. It's just amazing. Tracy, thank you. Tracy, Steve's sister. Tracy, thank you. And Tracy's husband Tony's a great supporter as well. We've got such an incredible community now. Consider it's 10 months. It's been 10 months, and I can't believe it. I honestly, how long it takes to build these communities, these movements, these initiatives, but it just seems to have almost grown a life of its own. And we've got some people I must call out. Tony Vogel and Michelle Vogel, are just amazing.
Big shout.
Cakes, vegan cakes. They've adopted us as their kind of charity, and every fortnight, they're providing cakes for our walkers, so that at the end of the walk we can grab a coffee at the volunteer
And they're good. They're so good.
I tell you what, they are unbelievable. better than cakes that have dairy products in it. Just so delicious, and such kind people. And we are surrounded by kindness. Recently we were asked to apply for a St Neots Town Council grant, which we've been awarded. That's on its way. I've got a Huntingdon District Council Community Chess grant. We had the people at the Bull's Head in St Neots had a charity darts match for us on our behalf last September, and they donated just over £500 to our charity as well. So we're going to start to make some investments with that money that are going to help us increase reach, increase the support we provide, start to look at some of the initiatives that are important for the local group. So it's just remarkable. It's become so much more than I anticipated, because last March when I did my first walk, I was completely prepared to turn up and walk around on my own. I didn't, because you just don't know who's going to be there.
No, you don't. No,
and
you don't.
The fact that it's become what it has is really, really special. Really special. I
think I'm not surprised at all. Actually, if you and again, this is why I love this event every year, because it allows me to reflect and gets me better in touch with people that are doing amazing things. I've spoken to, by the end of today, I would have spoken to 34 people that each of which I consider are doing amazing things for who they represent. And a conversation came up this morning when I was chatting with Rachel Hales, and I was having a chat with obviously Danny B, and it kept coming up throughout the conversations around the change required is simple. What we need it's not complex. We just need to actually be there for each other and provide platforms for each of us to do so. And what you've provided is the ultimate form of that. It is resolving a real need. It's removing a stigma, and it's just enabling people. And it's like a constant inspiration. The WhatsApp group is a constant inspiration. I remember walking around, and I really feel bad for getting his name. I know it's Twigden. He was David.
Yeah.
So as a business person, so David's obviously involved in Twigden, massive company, been through health challenges himself, like big health challenges, which were pretty much caused by stress and running into brick walls through business. And I'm walking around with this guy as some young entrepreneur who's running into walls in business. There's just, and that's by accident, because we're not, it's not like you pair us or anything like that. It just happens, I don't know. I'm not surprised, mate. And I think you should be absolutely so proud of what you've achieved, because I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. I really am. I have to say, it's one of those things that I kind of stop and pinch myself, because what's interesting is you'll find this, right? When I work with clients in my business, when I'm coaching, particularly when I'm coaching clients, I coach some very senior people, some really bright, really people in highly responsible roles, with managing millions, if not tens of millions of pounds worth of business, managing teams of kind of 30, 40, 50, even more, hundreds in some instances. And I coach some of those senior people. And as I'm coaching them, I'm asking them questions. I'm helping them figure out and navigate the best way forward. I'm helping them build their plans and strategy. As they learn through those conversations, so do I. So every time they help themselves, I help myself. And every time they help their teams, they help me. And it's really interesting, because the same thing happens with this group. The more I help this group, the more I put into it, the more I enjoy it, the more it helps me. And so, I've worked on myself a lot anyway, but the confident, it just makes you feel more confident. It makes you feel more grateful. It makes me feel like I'm contributing. I honestly, it kind of really lights me up. And you'll hear Steve talk about it later on. For Steve and me, it's kind of a passion. We really have been ignited by it in so many ways. So in fact, we kind of want to say thanks to the whole St Neots community. Thanks to the men that join us every fortnight. Thanks to you, and all of the different pages on Facebook, the different people that support it. It's just become such a part of the fabric of what we do and the fabric of the local community in such a short time. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. Absolutely over the moon.
Oh, well done, you, man. Now I've got you for another 10 minutes.
Yes, come on. What do you want?
So I did this earlier. I had, we've had some wonderful people on throughout the day, and you included, and we've talked a lot about community. We've talked a lot about change. We've talked a lot about what mental health means to us and mental fitness means to us and how we can learn to move through that. And if I've got someone as qualified and with so much exposure and experience to the world of growth, I think, just that word growth, I know means a lot to you. I mean, it's literally in your brand. So
Absolutely.
But your mindset is phenomenal, dude. Like, so I don't know if you remember this, but Danny Bridge and I were talking about it this morning. Do you remember it was one of the first Shifties events and we went for a curry and me and you were sat opposite Danny B?
Danny, yes, I do. Yeah.
And she obviously now, when you think of Danny Bridge, you just think of this absolute superhero, formidable, inspirational, the strength of character. And within about 3 minutes of sat opposite Justin and his many questions as a coach, it was watching her just, whoa, what just happened to me? She got the full Alex and Justin treatment for about an hour.
She was very positive about it after sales.
Oh, she was very positive about it. She was really positive about it. But there's something about that, Justin, and is that what you do to yourself? Because you said you work on yourself every day. What can we do as us mere mortals? We're not all Justin Leigh, but but I mean, I'm saying, I'm joking, but I'm saying it. I aspire to that level of commitment to my own self-development, and I think. That's clearly been a massive driver for you to just be a better human, and that's a huge thing for you. What does that look like? Can you share some kind of, I don't know, maybe it's nuggets of wisdom that you've received recently, whatever you want to share that you think is going to help us move our mental fitness in the right direction?
Yeah. Okay. So the big thing for me has been routine, form a habit, and the evidence is really interesting on this. I don't know if you've read James Clear's Atomic Habits.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great book, right? It's a great book and lots of principles in there. The one that sticks with me really is make the stuff you want to do easy to do, right? Set up your environment so it's really easy. Make the stuff you don't want to do difficult to do. So if you don't want to eat sweets and cake and chocolate and donuts, make sure they're somewhere really difficult to get to. If you want to eat more fruit and veg, make it really, really accessible. Cut up your carrots as batons on a Sunday afternoon so they're ready for your Monday morning. Get the hummus on the fridge right in the front so that you can get the healthy snacks in. Whatever it is, right? But set up the environment so it helps you. And what he also shows is that when you start to introduce new behaviors, if you can get yourself to kind of find a way to make them as easy as possible, but then reinforce them and keep doing it. So positively reinforce what you do. And then make sure that you repeat it enough times so that once you get beyond a certain period, and the sweet spot is a couple of months, get into something that you do daily in a couple of months, and all of a sudden it gets harder to stop it than it does to continue. And that's the sweet spot. So what I do on a daily basis, I have a really, really quite rigid routine, right? So
can't give it to us, man. Let's hear it. Okay. Let's hear it.
So I'm normally awake about 10 to 15 minutes before my alarm. It's just one of those things, right? I try and get up before 6:30. So 6:30 is my kind of point where if it's after 6:30, I feel like I'm kind of behind the day. So I'm up at 6:30 latest. And before I get up, in the 10 to 15 minutes before the alarm goes, I ask myself 3 questions. Okay. The first question is always the same question. What am I most grateful for in my life right now? And I sit there and I think about it and I answer the question and I think it and feel it. And the caveat is, right now, nothing else has to happen for me to feel grateful. Okay, I don't have to get up. I don't have to do anything. Nothing has to go well. It's on zero reliance on anything else other than me feeling it. So loads of stuff goes through my head. I've got an amazing wife. I've got amazing kids. I've got amazing parents. I've got brothers. I've got a business community. I've got a walk and talk for men movement. I've got the list is endless. I live in a democratic society. I have running water. I have electricity. I have the roof over my head. I have all that stuff, right? there's always something to feel grateful for that we take for granted. So first thing I do every single day is ask and answer that question. Right? Then I move straight to the second question. So that takes me like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. Ask and answer, ask and answer. I get great. Do you know what? Everything's fab. Second question. What am I most excited about in my life right now? That can be anything. It can be
nice.
It can be a cup of tea that I'm just about to have first thing. It might be the workout I'm about to do. It might be getting out of bed and taking the first deep breath of the day. I can get myself, I'm quite sad like that. I can get excited about almost anything. You've witnessed that yourself, Alex, right? So I'm quite excited.
He's a very excitable guy, I can tell you now. Get this guy around a whiteboard with 2 questions. Whoa.
I'm excited. But you know, that excitability, right? I build that daily. That's why I'm so excitable, because I can get myself excited in a heartbeat. So you imagine, right, the start of my day, question 1, what am I grateful for? Grounds me. Nothing else needs to happen. I'm already grateful. I'm entering the day with complete gratitude. Second, what am I excited about? What's going to generate energy, make me feel like I want to jump out of bed, get going, get working on my goals, get working on my life? That's the second question. Third question, which is the final thing I do before I get up, is what does a great day look like? And I will know that I have a couple of big things most days. So today, there were a couple of things that were going through my head. One was a big program I ran with a client this morning. The second was this speakeathon. So I'm in my head, I'd already imagined this going well. I'd imagined the client program going really well. What does a great day look like? I'd experienced it. Then I get up. And I do that every single day. It takes me 10 minutes. And it's a discipline that I've now sewn in with a habit. And so every day, that's how I start my day. And from there, I'm up, I get kind of teeth brushed, ready. And then the first thing I do, the first hour of my day, is an investment in myself, and I work out. So I do something. I either go to the gym, or I go for a run, or I do a small workout. You know, I've got some training equipment at home. So I do this first hour of my day. It's my hour of power. So I've done my questions, then I do my hour. It's physical. It gets my heart rate up. It makes me kind of generate physical energy. And at that point, when I finish that hour, I then do a short 5 or 10 minute either meditation or short Tai Chi routine, which kind of brings the mind and the body together. Then I finish, close my practice, that physical and mental practice, shower, ready, and I'm breakfasted at my desk, ready to go by 8:30. And that is my day. So I start by 8:30 in the morning, when most people have kind of just about starting their day. I feel like, genuinely, I feel like I've kind of primed myself. I've already won to a certain degree before I even start. And that habit I've formed, I do it every day now. That's set in routine. And it just is kind of, that's what I would say. If you can get you at the start of your day, start of every single day, you get something in place that works for you. You don't have to use my routine. That's what I do.
Absolutely.
Use what works for you. And if you can get that sewn in, honestly, it transforms everything. It transforms your life, transforms your energy, transforms the way you act. And we all know that when we manage ourselves and we manage our energy and our interaction with other people, people tend to be attracted to positive people.
Yes.
Right? We want to spend time with people that make us feel good, that give us energy, that kind of help us lift our own performance and kind of the way we think about ourselves. And that is my responsibility. I can manage myself. I can't manage other people, but if I manage myself, I become the most attractive. And I don't mean that in the physical sense. I mean in the, attractive in terms of attracting other people, attracting opportunity, attracting business, attracting all the things that I want for myself and my family and for my business. And it seems to be working. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Mate, it's brilliant. And I think it's, that's amazing that you're getting some lovely comments around this. And one no more so than Mr. Whitney. Big shout, man. I like this one from Jackie.
I love you too, Steve. I love you too.
I'm excited. Justin is excited. I like that.
Mission accomplished, Jackie. Thank you.
Luke's still does his to-do list. That's off the old say 5 hours in 5 days challenge. You have to bring that back at some point, won't we? Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Luke.
Beautiful. Then I like this one for Tracy. Then go back to bed. Sometimes. I think it's important that you do what works for you, right? That's what works for you, and that's your thing, and you love that, and clearly, it fires you up. If you're, like for me, I'm complete opposite in the sense of I'm a late night. I work late into the night. I work till 2, 3 in the morning because I need my brain to go into a weird state of flow before I can do the creative work that I do. And therefore I don't set an alarm in the morning. So I do my run in the evenings. So, it's just whatever works. I think it's just an important message to say that whatever works for you, but routine is key.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
It is
message.
key. Once you decide what it is that does work for you, get a few of those in, positively reinforce yourself doing it. Once you start to associate, because the challenge with exercise, generally speaking, is it tends to be a bit hard. So when something's hard, our brain goes, I don't like doing that, it's hard. If you can get to, actually, I might not like doing it because it's hard, but I do like the feeling I get after I've done it, or I know it's good for me, or I've started to see some benefits from it, or I feel a bit better in these situations. That can be really powerful. So you've got to get the positive reinforcement of the behavior, because that's what forms the habit. And that's the bit that took me a while to get used to. And I think I've probably told you this before, it's worth saying this. When I'm in the gym or if I'm training, if people could hear what was going on in my head, they would think I was barking mad. And I'm not joking.
I can imagine, man. I can imagine.
I'll tell you the reason, because I learned this years ago. When you're doing something you don't want to do, your brain will fight you. It starts to go, oh God, why are we doing this? It's really hard. Oh God, can't believe we're having to do another one. Why are we here? How quickly can we finish? All that stuff. You have to. So I talk over that. What I say to myself is, with every rep, with every minute, with every second that I'm here exercising, I'm getting stronger. I'm getting healthier. I love this. And sometimes my brain goes, you don't love it. I do love this. And I have this conversation. Honestly, if people could hear what's going on in my head when I'm doing that, they'd be thinking, what on earth is he saying? But what it's become is fuel for me to be able to enjoy the workout. And I've actually kind of tricked myself into enjoying the stuff I do now, where most people go, that's really hard work. I go, I love this stuff. And it might be self-manipulation. It probably is, but it works, and I'll continue to do it.
That's beautiful. So Tracy, so you might not understand this reference for "Fuck Off, Linda," but we had Janine Hornsby from Marshall Center on earlier, who's one of my favorite humans, and she has named her saboteur in her head Linda, and that's your version of nicely saying "fuck off, Linda." Basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
dude,
absolutely.
And there's more "fuck off." Yeah, that's it. Steven's on it. Everyone's on it. That's it. We're past 5 o'clock. All the fucks are out. Right, let's do this.
Forget the watershed.
So look, I have been asking 2 questions of each guest at the end. I can't ask the first question because we're now fixed the light to purple in honor of the conversation with Courtney earlier, which was profound. But what I will ask you is, what are you most excited about in 2022?
Well, for me, book number 2 comes out in the next couple of weeks. So that's the big thing for me, because that becomes the platform for my dental specific program around selling and leadership. So it has to be that for me. Yeah. Book number 2, program that follows it, and real acceleration of the business into the dental space.
What an achievement that will be as well. And just, it wouldn't be a Speak Up Live-a-thon if we didn't have, and back me up on this, Fergie, if we didn't have at least 5 books in our raffle ready for the Live-a-thon prize draw on the 4th of February. And we do have signed books by the Justin Leigh for his phenomenal book. If you want to learn sales, and everyone needs to understand sales, then Justin is the man to learn sales from.